14 years ago today, the worst tornado outbreak of a generation was occurring. The 2011 Super Outbreak would go on to claim the lives of 321 people. The First Alert Weather Team has put together a mini-series, Dixie Alley, the Super Outbreak, to honor those that lost their lives that day and share what we learned from those storms. We begin our coverage looking back on April 27th and how meteorologists were preparing for that day.
I came in at about 4 o'clock in the morning. When I arrived at the office, by the time I issued my first warning, it was 10 minutes.
The 2011 Super Outbreak spans several days, starting on April 25th and finally ending on April 28th. Wednesday, the 27th, would be the worst day of the outbreak.
We knew days in advance that this was going to be a massive event. The ingredients, the parameters were kind of as high as they've ever been for an event.
The atmosphere was perfect for tornadoes, and it produced 3 different waves of severe weather that day. 2 squall lines formed in the morning, and a separate group of supercells formed that afternoon.
We followed that system across central Alabama and north central Alabama through the mid-morning hours. At the same time, we're issuing warnings. We're also thinking, this isn't the big show.
Those afternoon supercells would spawn 77 tornadoes across Alabama and Georgia. Several of these would be violent, including the deadly Tuscaloosa and Hackleburg tornadoes.
When we saw Tuscaloosa, and we knew throughout the rest of that evening, it was all marching eastward. And it was just a matter of time that was going to hit us. So we had to prep people.
When I got home, I had my family and my concerns that I had to take care of. And then we made a decision. There were storms approaching Shelby County here close to our office and where many of us live. Made the decision to go to my mother-in-law's house with my family where she had a basement. And when you're watching the news coverage and somebody says your street, the street where you're sheltering is in the highlight zone of where this tornado is going, it's a very, very humbling feeling.
The line of supercells would continue to move towards Columbus later that evening, and a violent EF4 tornado would strike parts of Chambers County, Alabama.
Lynette and Valley, that tornado warning, even though it still continues, we see on Doppler is completely weakening. We're not seeing rotation, so that's some good news. It's weakening, but still take it serious here in LaGrange and Troup County because there's still potential damage, or it could actually regenerate some energy and it could still produce a tornado. And that just was it. It was like the reality came true. And the hours we're on may have been up to 13 hours on News 3 of that day of nonstop.
In Alabama alone, 240 lives were lost.
The day after, when you start getting those reports that come in, your heart sinks every time you hear of an increase in the numbers of injuries and fatalities.
Over the following days, communities would come to terms with the events that had occurred, and recovery would slowly begin. Over the course of the outbreak, 368 tornadoes touched down. This remains the largest tornado outbreak on record.
And that was meteorologist Kaylee Barbie reporting. This series will continue tomorrow as we take a look at what we have learned since 2011 outbreak.